Dear students, in our previous class, we had started the play, The Proposal, written by Chekhov. If you remember, it is a small play, a one-act play. There are only three characters. What are the names of the three characters? Stepan Stepanovich Chubukov, Natalia Stepanovna, and Ivan Vasilievich Lomov. And what is the setting of the play? The setting of the play is Chubukov's country house. That means the action of the play takes place in Chubukov's country house. Now, when the curtain is risen, what happens? We find a drawing room in Chubukov's house. Lomov enters. How is Lomov dressed? Lomov is formally dressed. Formal dress, that means the dress that is governed by rules and regulations. It is not an informal dress that people generally wear while visiting the neighbors. So Lomov wears a dress jacket and white gloves, and naturally Chubukov rises to meet him. How does Chubukov greet Lomov? Chubukov greets Lomov as a dear fellow, and he also says that he is extremely glad to see him, and he applies pressures on his hand to express his surprise and delight, and he addresses Lomov as my darling. Now this address is a bit odd. Generally, a neighbor does not address another neighbor as darling. We have to understand why. And then Lomov thanked him and asked him how he was getting on. And Chubukov answered that he was getting along somehow. Now, again Chubukov addresses Lomov as my darling, my treasure. And Chubukov wants to know if Lomov is going anywhere, because as I have already said, Lomov is formally dressed. As Lomov is formally dressed, Chubukov thinks that he is going to a party or something. But Lomov contradicts him and says that he has come to visit him. Chubukov asks him why Lomov is in his evening dress. And again he addresses Lomov as my precious. And Chubukov jocularly remarks that perhaps Lomov is going to a New Year's Eve party. Now, New Year's Eve is 31st December. January 1 is the New Year, and New Year's Eve is the 31st December. It is also celebrated all over the world. Now Lomov says that he is not going to a New Year's Eve party, and now he is telling Chubukov why he has come to meet him. Lomov, well, you see, it's like this. Takes his arm. I have come to you, honored Stepan Stepanovich, to trouble you with a request. Note that Lomov is speaking in an ornamental manner. সে আলংকারিকভাবে কথা বলছে. Instead of saying that I have a request to make or I request you to do it, Lomov says that he has come to trouble Chubukov with a request. Not once or twice have I already had the privilege of applying to you for help, and you have always, so to speak, I must ask your pardon. I am getting excited. Now, this is another trait of Lomov's character. What is the trait of Lomov's character? Lomov is excitable by nature. What is meant by the term excitable? The word excitable means one who gets easily excited. যে সহজেই উত্তেজিত হয়, he is called excitable. So Lomov is excitable by nature. He has come to make a request, but he gets excited and he cannot tell Chubukov anything about the request. I shall drink some water, honored Stepan Stepanovich. And he again addresses Chubukov as honored Stepan Stepanovich. Now this is also something odd. Honored is an address of respect. Generally a person does not address his neighbor as honored. But as I have already said, both Chubukov and Lomov are addressing each other in an odd manner. The audience notices this and it gives rise to humor, it gives rise to fun. Eta moja srishti kore. Actually, we are under the impression that both Lomov and Chubukov are desperately trying to please each other. Tara jeno porashporke khushi korar khub cheshta korche. So Lomov, instead of telling him with what request he has come to Chubukov, gets excited and drinks a glass of water. Chubukov aside. He has come to borrow money. Shan't give him any. Aside. What is meant by this expression? In a play, the word aside is used to denote that what the character is saying on the stage is meant for the audience and not for the other characters of the play, not for other characters who are present on stage. It is meant only for the audience. What he is saying is meant for the audience. সে যা বলছে সেটা দর্শক শুনতে পাচ্ছে, কিন্তু এটা নাটকের অন্য কোনো দর্শক শুনছে না বলে ধরে নিতে হবে। In Bengali it is called Jonantike. Now there is a difference between play and other branches of literature. Other branches of literature, say a novel, a short story, a poem, has to be read only. এগুলো শুধু পড়তে হয়। But a play has to be staged also. নাটক শুধু পড়লেই হয় না, মঞ্চস্থও করতে হয়। If it had been a story, the writer would have written like this. এটা গল্প হলে লেখক এইভাবে লিখতেন। Chubukov said to himself, সে নিজের মনে বলল। But here, if Chubukov says something to himself and remains silent, the audience will become restive. এখানে যদি চরিত্র, যেমন এখানে Chubukov মনে মনে কথা বলছে, চুপ করে রয়েছে, দর্শক বুঝতে পারছে না, তখন দর্শক কিন্তু অস্থির হয়ে উঠবে। That is why this aside is used by the playwright. Actually, Chubukov, he is saying something, but it is not meant for the other characters. Here it is not meant for Lomov. Lomov is not hearing it. Lomov এটা শুনতে পাচ্ছে না. It is for the audience. What is Chubukov saying? Chubukov suspects that Lomov has come to borrow money. ও নিশ্চয়ই টাকা ধার নিতে এসছে. Shan't give him any. And Chubukov is determined that he will not lend money to Lomov. Now you understand the humor. Chubukov is addressing Lomov as my darling, my treasure, my precious, my angel. He is addressing him in such an affectionate manner. But he says to himself this thing: if Lomov wants to borrow money, I will not lend him money. টাকা চাইলে কিন্তু দেব না। Aloud. Aloud means what the character is saying will be heard by both the audience and the other characters. এবার সে যেটা বলছে সেটা দর্শকও শুনবে এবং অন্যান্য চরিত্র যারা রয়েছে তারাও শুনবে। That means in this case it is Lomov. Lomov will hear it. What is Chubukov saying? What is it, my beauty? Just think of the hypocrisy of Chubukov. Chubukovের ভণ্ডামিটা ভাববে। Chubukov addresses Lomov as my beauty, but he says to himself that he will not lend him money. Lomov. You see, honors Stepanich. Now, this is another funny situation. Lomov has forgotten the name of Chubukov. He has become so excited because he is excitable by nature. He has become so excited that he has forgotten the name of Chubukov. What is the name of Chubukov? The name of Chubukov is Stepan Stepanovich. And here, Lomov addresses him as Stepanich. Instead of addressing him as honored, he addresses him as honor. So this is a wrong expression, honor Stepanich. But it only reveals to us that Lomov is very excited. I beg pardon, Stepan Honorich. Again, Lomov makes a mistake. He does not pronounce the name properly. I mean, I am awfully excited. And Lomov admits that he is very excited, as he will please notice. In short, you alone can help me, though I don't deserve it, of course. And Lomov, instead of telling Chubukov about the request, he tells him that only Chubukov can help him, but he does not deserve his help. এই সুবিধে তার প্রাপ্য নয়. And haven't any right to count on your assistance. Count on means to depend, নির্ভর করা. Assistance means help. And Lomov says he has no right to depend on Chubukov's help. আপনার সাহায্যের উপর নির্ভর করার অধিকারও আমার নেই. That means Lomov is very modest, but he is not telling why he has come to Chubukov. I will stop this video now and I will speak in another video. Thank you.